This is the room at the top of the house on the 4th floor, which used to be my 6 children's nursery, and I always loved it. It's got windows facing 2 ways, west and east, and I always thought it was rather wasted on them. I call it my eyrie rather than my study, because it's so high up. I love many things about it. I love the double light. I love the comparative tranquility. It's more tranquil than anywhere else in the house. I think the only tidy thing in here should be in my brain. And so when I decorated it, I thought I'd make it like a bedroom in an Edwardian country house and have a really pretty, charming, old-fashioned wallpaper with roses and blue bows. And then gradually the piles mount up and the books mount up, but it's still, I think, got a sort of country feel to it. I like to work surrounded by what I call the tools of my trade. I've got these files here, and then I've got my marvellous pattern notebooks, and I'm absolutely devoted to them. I must have about 200 by now, because I do about 20 for each subject. This is one of my notebooks for a book about the Gunpowder Plot. It's rather fascinating, looking into something one worked on a long time ago. I see underlinings here, there and everywhere. Well, I must stop reading it, otherwise I'll want to write another book about the Gunpowder Plot. I'm a passionate listener to music. I vary it. I try to fit it to the subject. When I was working on Love and Louis XIV, I listened to a lot of Lully and Lalande. And when I was working on Marie Antoinette, I listened to Gluck. And I find it very inspiring. I consider this workspace to be totally private. Luckily, it's so high up that I don't get many passing visitors, to put it mildly. Harold occasionally comes up, but I think he's aware that he has visiting status only. But he also has a rather maddening habit of shutting the window, because I like the window open. I think sort of fresh air is very important for the brain. I'm just so used to doing it. I light a scented candle first thing in the morning. I think that's good for the brain as well. There's the magic moment when I move from the research stage to the writing, and that's when I move from the sofa and the notes to the electric typewriter. And I bought this typewriter with my earnings from Mary Queen of Scots, sort of nearly 40 years ago, and it's so old that I have to get spare parts from other typewriters. Nevertheless, that's the way I do it, and that's the way I intend to keep on doing it. I'm surrounded with paperweights, which I certainly need. I think this is my very favourite red glass. It was given to me when I was 10 for my birthday by my great-uncle, Lord Dunsany, the Irish poet. And he rolled it down an Irish bank, and the sun glinted on it, and I think about that well over 60 years later. I love it. I always put it on top of the stack of written manuscript. I think one does become a bit superstitious with one's little routines.